Hey campers, Patrick with Uncle Bill's Camping. And today we're going to be talking about a brand new radio from Motorola. This is the Motorola T800 FRS Bluetooth radio. If this is something you think you might be interested in, stick around for a minute and I'm going to tell you all about it. So just like I said in the intro, this is an FRS Bluetooth radio, and it's meant to pair with your smartphone, not headphones. Now, using the Bluetooth on this, you can actually pair this with your smartphone using the Motorola app. And what it lets you do is locate and message other people in your radio group that have their radios paired with their smartphones. Now, this can be used online or offline, so whether you have a cell signal or not, if you have downloadable maps, you can still track people in your group, and you can still message people in your group using the Motorola Talkabout app. Now, there's a lot to unpack in this video, so I'm going to break it up into a 2-video series. The first part, we're going to unbox, we're going to check things out, we're going to pair it with a phone and look over some of the features. In the second video, we're actually going to take it out and field test it. So with all that said, let's get right into it. So as I said, this is going to be a 2-video review on this radio. The first part of this is going to be more of an unboxing, and that's what we're going to do right now. The second part will be the field testing. So I've already taken everything out of the box, so you don't have to hear me unwrapping everything. So here's what you get. You get 2 radios, 2 batteries, 2 belt clips, 1 wall plug that has 2 USB or micro USB plugs on it, and a pack of stickers. Now the stickers are kind of important. They go on the bottom here. You probably don't need them. If you got a magic marker or something like that, you can use that, but it is important to know which radios are paired with your phones, and it makes it a little bit easier if you have them labeled. So what we're going to do is go ahead and work with one radio here. I got everything unwrapped, and we have the battery pack here. Now, something that is kind of cool about this is if you decide that you don't want to use the Motorola battery pack, you can use 3 AA batteries if you need to, if you're in a pinch. So that's always nice. And of course, we have this side up, and we'll go ahead and insert that in there. Snap the back on. There is a lock right here at the bottom to help get that on there, so very nice. And the battery clip that goes on there nice and snug. So now that we have the battery installed, let's take a look at some of the things on the outside of the radio before we get into the programming. First things first, the right hand side here has fixed antenna and our USB charging port, and it has a dust and waterproof cover that fits snugly over it to not let anything in there. Now on the left hand side we have the flashlight switch, and keep in mind this does work even when the radio is turned off. This will help you find a zipper in the middle of the night on your tent, or maybe some keys, or if you need to rummage through your backpack. We have the push to talk buttons here. Now this is high and low. This is 2 watts and 1/2 watt. These 2 buttons here, we have share, and there we'll go into this a little bit more, but it helps update your location with other people in your group. And we have the emergency button. And the emergency button will let out an audible tone on your radio, as well as other people in your group, to let them know you're having an emergency. And it will also update your location so people can find you. We go to the back, we have the detachable belt clip, and at the top we have the headphone microphone jack. Now it doesn't come with a headphone microphone set, but you can, and I believe you can even get the shoulder mounted microphone if you want to spend the extra money. Okay, so taking a look at the front, what we see is a very smooth design for the most part. We have the hidden display, which we'll come to in just a second, and we have some raised buttons here, and they all have a different shape to them, and they're tactile, so you can once you're very familiar with the radio, you'll be able to operate these without having to look at it, and you'll know for sure, what buttons you're pushing. But, we have mode, we have pairing, scroll up, scroll down buttons. We also have scan and alert tone. And when we turn the radio on, it displays a lot of different information. For the most part, though, you're going to have battery, channel, sub-channel, whether you're in two-way or weather mode, and if your keytones are on or if it's in vibrate mode. You can also control how long this stays on through the app, and that's something that I actually really like, is that you get a lot of control over this radio through the application, and we'll get into that in just a second. So now we get into the exciting part about this, and this is being able to use this FRS radio in conjunction with a cell phone and the Talkabout app. Now, I will say this: you will need Android 4.3 or iOS 9 to be able to use this app. I've went ahead, already installed it, and I've paired it to the radio. I promise you it doesn't take very long to do this, but you do have to enter your personal number, and it has to send you a confirmation text, so you can understand why I didn't do that on camera. But now that it's paired, let's open it up and we'll go over some of the features. So two things really pop up right when you open the app. It's either going to be chat or it's going to be maps. Now in chat, you have two options. You have shout, which is basically group messaging, and then you have individual text. Now I have nobody in my contacts because I haven't added anybody, but anybody that has the radio, the app, and a phone, you can add to this group and be able to send them text or locations. We go over to maps, and this is where it gets kind of interesting. So right now I have downloaded maps on here. You can download them, save them for offline use. You can change your map style, like satellite and street. You can also hit the member thing, and it will bring up whatever members happen to be in your group, so you can see where they're at. You can also see your tracks, which I haven't put any down yet, but you can record a track as you go along. You can set pin locations for later use. You can also establish a geofence, or you can recenter yourself. And this also sends your location, your current location, to all the members in your group. And we go over into menu, and there's a bunch of stuff that customizes the apps and some radio settings. So you can go into myself, and you can set a picture to be able to identify yourself within the group. Members, which, as I said, you could create groups, or you can add new members, or go over the members that are in your group. You also have an area here for offline maps, your tracks, your location pins, your saved geofences. App settings, which is not a whole lot in the app settings. You can enable or disable shout, permissions, language, as far as units of measurement, imperial, metric, or you can delete your account. Now, where it gets interesting is radio settings. And you can do a lot of different things here, but keep in mind, anything you do here is instantaneous. So if you go in and you change the channel to channel 8, it does that. You can also change your subcodes, your call tones. You can enable Vox. You can also scan a separate channel, a secondary channel. You can turn on Viber Call, which is basically it turns off all your alert tones. You can turn off your keypad tones, and you can turn off your talk confirmation tones. Excuse me. Another thing that you can do is go into weather. Now, as soon as you do this, it is going to turn on the closest weather channel, and it lets you select your closest weather channels or know a frequency.
Temperature was 91 degrees at Olive Branch.
You can also go through and set emergency. And what I like about this is you can put your name, your emergency contact in here, and any medical info that you want down here in this box. And you can save that. And if you hit your emergency button, that broadcasts it to anybody that happens to be on your frequency or in your group. So not only can you let them know that you're in trouble and what your location is, you can also alert them to any medical conditions that you have, like if you're diabetic or you have a heart condition. Easy pairing. Now, if you're wanting to set your radio as leader, you can go in and do that here. And once you turn that on, it'll automatically send out a signal to all the other radios that they have to confirm that you're set as leader. Once you do that, though, you can go through and change the channel for everybody else's radio and the sub channel. And that makes it a little bit easier. So if you're having trouble communicating with somebody because you have a bad signal, you can go through and change all the channels and get everybody dialed in and not have to worry about one straggler out there that's on the wrong channel. We also have some other stuff beyond that. You have Bluetooth connection, and it just really gives you a status as far as whether you're paired or unpaired. You can also test your connection. It gives you a little bit of information about what software version you're running, battery status on your two-way, help and support, and about. So that about wraps up the app. Now there's a lot more information about this. Motorola has a wealth of online resources for this, and I'll try and leave some links in the description to that so you can learn a little bit more about those things. So that wraps up the first video. Now I know that was a lot of information to unpack, and there's still a lot more to learn about this radio system. Now in the second video, what we're going to be doing is taking this out into the field and learning about its range. We're going to field test it with another paired radio and smartphone. We're going to do range testing for the radio itself, range testing for the group and text messaging. We're also going to fool around with using the maps online and offline to track another user. But with all that being said, this is Patrick from Uncle Bill's Camping. Thank you for taking the time to look at my video, and I will see you guys the next time around.